Hello and welcome to the Monday edition of Talking Football. The European leagues are on a break this week for the European qualifiers, and we will follow everything happening in the different groups, with some teams already booking their spot in next year's Euro in France. I'm joined today in the studio by football analysts Amit Leventhal and Michael Friedman. And on our show today, we will look at the incredible success of Iceland. We'll ask what is wrong with the Netherlands, and we'll also analyze Israel's chances of qualifying. All this and much more coming up. Let's get started. We begin with the most surprising group of them all, Group A. This is how it looks. There are two very big stories here. One is that of the Netherlands that lose 3-0 in Turkey. The Dutch are now only fourth in the group, and only if they're lucky, they will make it to the playoffs. And an even bigger story is that of the group leaders, tiny Iceland. With a population of less than 350,000 people, they will travel to the Euro next year. The Nordic team sealed their spot in France along with the Czech Republic with a goalless draw at home against Kazakhstan. An incredible achievement for the team and for captain Aron Gunnarsson.
Unbelievable. I mean, I don't know, I'm shocked. We worked ever so hard to obviously get to this point. And being the first team from Iceland to qualify for a final is I don't know. When I started playing football, I didn't dream of that. Now it's a reality, and it's starting to sink in. And obviously, being a captain of this wonderful team is so special for me. I go home proud.
Amit, I had a very difficult time deciding which one is the bigger story. After a lot of thinking, I went with Iceland because it's unfair to take this away from them. A tiny nation, 350,000 people, even less, but it's not by luck. They were in the playoffs in the previous qualifying stage. This is a terrible group they had, and they're first. What are they doing right?
Well, it's no fluke at all. You're very right, mentioning that, because Iceland is a very, very systematic. To have a success from such a tiny nation of 320,000 people, and you must also remember that football is not the most popular sports in Iceland. They have athletics, they have winter sports, hockey, they have also handball. It's an amazing sport nation. But the big story in football-wise is that they started in the beginning of this century a big national project of actually put a lot of money in the infrastructure, bringing in many new stadium, with roof built, because
9 months of the year you can play outside.
Exactly, you cannot play outside. So they built 20 artificial fields, full-size pitches, another 150 small-size pitches. And the kids are playing, and you see that how you know that it's no fluke. The under-21 team has won against France, and France has some of the big talents in the continent. They won 3-2 against France. They also are progressing very well, have big talents, and also the women national team. So you see the Iceland, investing in football, in coaches, many good coaches. They have actually a restriction. Every team, if they want to have a license from the KSI, which is the FA of Iceland, they must have a senior youth coach in its system. And they really invest in coach. Also, they brought in Lars Lagerbäck, the Swedish coach, the very experienced Swedish coach, who changed the mentality of the Iceland national team. He really turned them to winners, because, before Lagerbäck came, they would never have imagined to go to a place like the Netherlands and go for a win. Now he's going for a win in every game. And it's really fantastic. They also play very, very, very nice, attractive football. And not, we have seen many surprises doing this by in a different way. This is attractive, and it's lovely to see.
And Michael, how is the press treating this beautiful success story?
As Amit's saying, the press, everyone is loving this story. The Guardian headlines read, Iceland make history after draw with Kazakhstan. So it's a special story. Iceland became the smallest nation. Prior to this, it was Slovenia in 2000. And, as you said, with a very small population, this country is getting around football. And you're seeing from the 80s and the 90s, this group of players, the first generation to really get to enjoy the state-of-the-art stadiums, fields, everything around. And of course, Lars Lagerbäck, he's taking a lot of credit for what this team is showing, and they're celebrating incredible qualification, and only more to come from them.
And Amit, now let's turn to the other side of this group, which is the Netherlands. Fourth place only if they'll be lucky, they'll make it to the playoffs. It's not up to them anymore. What's wrong with them?
I think, eventually they somehow will nick the place in the third place and go to the playoffs, because Turkey needs to play Iceland and Czech Republic, who both already qualified, but Turkey, is not looking too well. But the Netherlands is amazing. Third in the World Cup only a year ago, and it's like hell for them. It's very puzzling, to explain how what a difference, a year makes. Third in the World Cup, it's amazing.
Shocking.
And fourth in this group. And, the Euro for the first time is going to have 24 countries. It's like half of the legitimate,
and Netherlands needs that, or else they'd be out.
Yes, but and you think about this crisis, and you look on the squad, on the squad sheet, and you find no big players, no players from big teams. Wesley Sneijder is way over the top. He's playing, every game, 90 minutes. When Arjen Robben is injured, like now, they have only two players from Manchester United, Memphis Depay and Daley Blind, and no other player in a big European club.
So obviously there's a big crisis.
Yes,
there.
and of course they had the issue with Hiddink. The new coach came and he did bad, but
it's certainly not working.
And now and they brought Danny Blind as his successor, and he's not a very experienced coach, and it was a gamble. Either. And before an important game in Turkey, bringing such a coach, he gave, in the really important match against Turkey, a young defender, 18 years old, his
Not
debut.
Working, obviously.
So it's too risky,
Now let's turn to Group B, where it seems the two top spots are practically sealed. The real battle will be for the third place, leading to the playoffs. A home win would have guaranteed the spot for Wales, but Israel was able to hang on to a goalless draw. Disappointment for Wales, but they will probably get the 1 point they need later on. Just like they did 3 days earlier against the Welsh, Cyprus fought hard against the visiting Belgians, only to concede a late goal. Eden Hazard scoring for Belgium 4 minutes from time. No problems for Bosnia against Andorra. The Bosnians, along with Cyprus, are still in the race for the third place. With 2 games remaining, things look relatively good for Israel. After taking 4 points from their last 2 matches, they're now in the driver's seat for a playoff spot. Michael Friedman followed the blue and white team. Here is his report.
It was an action-packed weekend for the Israeli national team, hoping to qualify for Euro 2016 next summer in France. Israel first faced Andorra at the Sami Ofer Stadium in the northern city of Haifa in front of 22,650 fans. The supporters came in hopes of watching their nation bounce back after their last 2 poor home results against Wales and Belgium. As always, fans were dressed up in their nation's kits and wearing flags. The Israeli fans believe the new stadium helps provide the extra support their team needs to qualify.
The stadium gives a good atmosphere. I think that the players are getting a lot of energies from the crowd.
And there was one player for Israel who all the fans believe can help lead them to France.
The key player is, in my opinion, Eran Zehavi. Up until now, he has a very good beginning of season and just an amazing player. He can put goals from every position on the field.
Eran Zehavi did just that, scoring 4 minutes into the match to get his team off to a strong start. Israel did what was necessary against Andorra, winning 4-0, and the Israeli captain was extremely proud of the team's performance.
We done a great preparation in the last 2 days, and I'm very happy that what we worked about in the last few days, we brought to the game, and we showed that from the first moment on the pitch.
Israel then continued their success and went to Wales, picking up a point after drawing 0-0. Despite Wales heading into the night on top of the group and having superstar Gareth Bale, Israel would play a strong defense and deny the home team from a win. And Ali Gutman, the Israeli manager, was happy with his team's achievements in these 2 matches.
Our target was not to concede in this game. Israel has to learn how not to concede goals in these kinds of matches. We told ourselves we wanted 4 points from these 2 matches. That was the target.
This was an important draw for Israel, who's hoping to make it to at least a third-place playoff spot. With their next match at home against Cyprus, it will be another important battle in their hopes for Euro 2016.
Michael, you were around the team on Thursday when they played here. What's the atmosphere? They feel, even especially after the draw last night, Is it possible to come in third and then, who knows?
Absolutely. It's a special feeling. The fans, the country, everybody is getting around this team, and they're proving to the world that they can compete. When they went to Wales and they were able to get a draw, it was huge for them. It's a great moral boost. And the mindset for them right now is that it is possible for them to come in third place, and anything can go from there. So everyone's looking forward to the future and hopefully being able to beat Cyprus, and that will be a very, very pivotal match.
And Amit, shortly, a lot of criticism on the defensive tactics of Israel against Wales. What's the choice?
Well, they tried not to be defensively against Wales, and they lost 3-0 at home. So, you know, at the end of the road, you judge by the results. You know, you have the players you have. If we, you know, Israeli, we don't have Gareth Bale. You know, we have Ran Zahavi, is not bad, but we're not a team of superstars. So we need to drag a result. And I think, it's a respectable draw against a very good team that we're going to see in the Euro. I think Wales will do well in 2016. It will surprise many people.
Relatively good result for Israel. The last group to play last night was Group H, where we know who the top three are, but everything can still happen among these top three. Italy now top the group after a difficult 1-0 win at home over Bulgaria. Norway are second following their valuable 2-0 victory at home against Croatia. Malta and Azerbaijan get a point each with a 2-2 draw. Now let's turn our attention to the matches coming up tonight, beginning with Group D. Germany, who climbed to the top after their win over Poland on Friday, traveled to Scotland. Despite the loss in Frankfurt, the Polish team is still in a good position, and they will find it much easier tonight when they host Gibraltar. Ireland still hope to catch up on the two top teams. They will host Georgia in Dublin. Amit, after the World Cup, the Germans seemed as if they're taking some time off. They lost one, they drew one, but ever since, it's the Germany we know.
Yeah, I think also, you know, the new format, the 24 teams, you see lots of the biggest nations in European football, you know, they play it easy as if the qualifying will come by nature, and in some cases we see it's not that easy.
For the Netherlands, what
Germany,
can happen?
And Germany also, it's not an easy group with Ireland there and Poland. But yes, they'll do it. They are so talented and so deep. And of course, the biggest test will be the next summer in France, where they are expected to win or to go to the end. And we'll have a very interesting tournament, because at the end you have Spain, you have Germany. These teams, you know, there's not a lot of point talking about them during the qualifiers, because they really don't have the same, adversary. So we need to see the big nations competing against each other really to know how good they are. And now it's only a warm-up for them.
Yeah, well, Germany will be there, as it seems Poland will also be there. That's what it looks. Now to the action in Group F, where Northern Ireland could qualify to their first ever European Championship if they beat Hungary in Belfast. If only George Best was around to see this. Romania can also make a big step towards the Euro when they host 2004 champions Greece, who are having a terrible campaign. Finland must beat the Faroe Islands if they want to stay in the race. Finally, in Group I, Albania host leaders Portugal. The Portuguese have a lot to prove after they lost to the Albanians at home last year. In the other match, Denmark hope to take the 3 points as they travel to Armenia. Amit, you would think this group would be like a walk in the park for Denmark and Portugal, and then Albania comes in, takes points away from both teams. Away, they won Portugal, they drew in Denmark. Can the Albanians do it again?
Yeah, Albania is one of the smallest, the rising nations in Europe. You see many talents. Actually, some of them, a bit like Turkey, were raised in Switzerland or in Germany, and they come back and they are very talented. Also from Kosovo, and they play in the biggest league. So it's not a big surprise. We see it. It's like I think Northern Ireland, for example, is much a bigger surprise than Albania. But we also have to remember that Portugal and Denmark always has difficulties in the qualifying. Like I don't think Portugal has ever qualified easily. Exactly, they only do it the hard way. No surprise there. I'll be very happy to see Albania because they have some talents in this team. People who raised from Switzerland, from the Serie A, from Germany. So it's exciting. 24 teams is maybe too much, but at least we'll see some new faces in the Euro next year, and Albania is not a bad one.
But Michael, if Albania comes in, that may mean Cristiano Ronaldo's out.
No, can't happen. We got to see Ronaldo in the Euros. It's too exciting of a player, too much there for him, and we expect a lot more from him.
Yeah, I think Portugal will be there. Yes, they
Absolutely. There's no chance that they're not going to be there.
Yes, they have a good, solid defense, you know, and it's like Gareth Bale, you know, everybody's talking about Bale in Wales, but, you know, Wales hasn't conceded for 6 games in a row, and that's, when you have a good defense, your star need only to shine once during 90 minutes and you're there.
Amit Leventhal, Michael Friedman, thank you very much. We'll see you again tomorrow. And that's it for the Monday edition. Join us again tomorrow to preview the European qualifying groups that will play on Tuesday night. Till then, thank you for watching and have a beautiful day.